Howdy, folks. Widget Wallace from NeedCoffee.com here. Back again for another Wayhomer. And, for the uninitiated, here's how it works. Just gotten out of the cinema thing. I'm going to tell you about it on my way home, because that's what we do. It saves time that way. I'm driving home anyway. I got to tell somebody. You're in the passenger seat. Right now, no one's in the passenger seat. There's nobody here. Probably because I couldn't convince anybody to come shoot camera for this. Because you might expect. See, I've been drained of all life energy. And that's because today we're here to talk about the Smurfs. Okay. Smurfs. What do we say about Smurfs? Okay. The Smurfs were apparently a big deal before they even came over here. That we imported them. But what we know them as was a Saturday morning cartoon that, and I believe the cartoon came before the toys, but I don't know. It was basically a multimedia type of thing, where they could basically create an entire Smurf character that did only one thing and had a name to match. So you had Grouchy Smurf, and you go, I wonder what his deal was. And Handy Smurf, which these days sounds a bit wrong. Anyway, so you have all these different Smurfs, and so you could collect all the little unposable plastic characters, and there's a cartoon that went along with it. And the premise of the cartoon was fairly plain. You had these Smurf characters who were 3 apples high, and they were cute and friendly and fun and all this stuff. And there was an evil wizard, of course, named Gargamel, and his evil cat. And the cat and the wizard wanted to destroy the Smurfs, probably because they sing all the time. I mean, you get about 30 minutes into this film and you want to destroy them too. So basically, that's the premise of the cartoon, and hijinks ensued and all that stuff. Anyway, so the synopsis of the film is this: that basically, you know what? I feel so drained. Hang on a second. I'm gonna take steps. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to take steps. Oh, it's better. That's better. I'm sorry. I don't normally stop in the middle of a review. But I was just dying. But here's the deal. So the synopsis of the film, now that I have the energy to tell you, Gargamel gets his power from the essence of Smurfs, right? So he basically, nothing would make him happier than to create a big Smurf smoothie, right? And just drink it, and then he would be like Galactus or something. I don't know. But, so he, through a series of events, stumbles upon the normally magically camouflaged Smurf village. And the Smurfs have to hightail it out of there. Hi, Smurf it out of there. Yeah, you think it's annoying in this review. You should see it in the film. Hear it in the film. And due to a plot contrivance to keep them from having to animate 100 Smurfs throughout the entire film, only a few of them wind up in New York. And Gargamel follows them. So just like Gargamel wants to suck out Smurf essence, the film sucked out my essence, and thus I had to get some of this. Now, this is not product placement. I am merely getting ready for the apocalypse in October. So, anyway, what was I saying? Oh, so that's your synopsis, right? Basically, Smurfs in New York. Now, here's the thing. And you're not going to believe this, but this could have been decent. Now, first of all, I don't understand why. I mean, why? Not why a Smurfs movie. Smurfs, fine, do a Smurfs movie, right? Nothing wrong with feature films based on animated characters. I know I'm not high for saying this, because I remember loving when I was a kid, because I was a big Peanuts fan, right? Before I got older, and I just thought that Charlie Brown should, like, go berserk and kill everybody. Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown, awesome. I think that was a cinema. I know Bon Voyage, Charlie Brown, and Don't Come Back was a feature film released in the cinema. Thought they were great, but here's the thing. They were completely animated. At no point, now, you can't even tell me it's because they didn't have the technology. At no point did anyone, what is this woman in front of me doing? This woman in front of me is slapping at invisible insects. I hope they're invisible. Anyway, welcome to Atlanta. So no. At no point, I think in that process, did anyone go, man, you know what would make this movie great? Is if we could put the Peanuts characters fully rendered in 3D in the real world. I don't know that at any point did they pine for the fact that it was, I don't know, when was that, 80-something? I don't know, it was 1880, whatever it was. At no point did somebody say that in the process of coming up with a film. Why? Why must we contrive ways to put these animated characters into the real world? Is it because all these filmmakers are pining for the fact that we're never going to get a Roger Rabbit 2? I mean, what is it? It makes even less sense for the Smurfs, right? Because what you'll see, no, you won't see it, because you're not going to go see this film. Unless you have a kid, and if so, you've probably already seen it, because that screening was full of kids, let me tell you. And that's why this is going to make a ton of money. But the forest with the Smurf village and Hank Azaria as Gargamel and the cat and the stuff, you know, you go, oh, this doesn't look bad. I mean, Hank Azaria, I mean, he looks goofy, but, I mean, he's a live-action Gargamel. What are you going to do? But if you had just stuck with that and created an adventure in the Smurf world and figured out some way of basically making a feature film-length story that didn't make you want to gouge your eyes out, I could have been behind that. You know? It would have been fine. But why? You know, Alvin and Chipmunks, suddenly we gotta have chipmunks in the real world. Yogi Bear, we gotta have Yogi Bear in the real world. Why not just animate it? I mean, I'm just so grateful that somebody hasn't tried to do, you know, a Dumbo circus. Well, we could, you know, because there was Dumbo, and there was Dumbo circus, and because they couldn't put the characters in the real world, they put people in the big outfits and put them in the real world. So, I mean, I'm just, you know, I'm amazed. Winnie the Pooh, it's like, Winnie the Pooh, they could have put Winnie the Pooh in the real world. So, if nothing else, thank Disney for at least keeping Winnie the Pooh animated, for God's sake, because nobody else is content to do that. So that's what I don't understand. Why must they come to New York? Why must they come to the real world? So, that all being said, and all of the plot bits that don't make any sense, like, now this is in the trailer. I'm not giving anything away. I've already told you there's a plot contrivance. You see it in the trailer, where a small number of Smurfs, to save on animation costs, wind up in New York, okay? Not that I think the animation costs are that great, because they basically all look alike, except for, you know, change the hat or something. I don't know. But if you're, they make mention of the fact that Gargamel's not the brightest tool in the tool shed, if you know what I mean. But still, if you need Smurf essence to wreak havoc or whatever the hell it is you want to do, and you're chasing Smurfs, which group are you going to chase? The group with 6 Smurfs in it, or the group with 94 some odd Smurfs in it? Right? No, I got a great idea. I'm going to chase that. They don't even set it up. They could have set it up any other ways. They could have just said he's that stupid, which they could have said. Or he could have said, no, I need Papa Smurf because he's that potent. I mean, they allude to it, but they don't really come out and explain it. So you're sitting there going, oh, this guy's a freaking idiot. And it's not even a ha-ha kind of freaking idiot kind of way. It's a, wow, this entire movie should not have happened freaking idiot kind of way. So anyway, there's that. There's other story problems, like the fact they actually introduced a subplot about Gargamel's powers that could actually have been interesting, and I kept waiting for them to do something else with it, but it gets dropped. And I'm like, where did that go? I mean, did they just cut that out for time? And they probably did, and here's what they cut it out for, all right? So you've got basically 3 parts of this screenplay. And it's the screenplay that's the problem. The Smurfs look fine, Neil Patrick Harris is fine, Hank Azaria is actually quite amusing when he's not being forced to say really, really stupid stuff. And I'll get to that in a second. But I mean, all the aspects of it were fine, right? I need some more of this. So it could have been decent. But the problem is, you had the decent part of the script, and then you had this part over here that said, well, we need to be meaningful with a capital M. And we need to have a message with a capital M. And we need to say things that are important with a capital I. You know what I'm talking about? Where you could almost read the pain on the face of the actors saying it because it's so on the nose. And you can't tell me they're doing this for the kids, because the kids who are going to like this movie are 6. And all they care about is la 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 and the Smurfs bumping into things. They don't care about anything else. They don't want your message. They don't give a damn. So why must you have that in there? Now, the messages themselves aren't bad. About family and rising above your perceived station in life and stuff like that. There aren't bad messages. It's not like somebody came in there and said, I don't know, the message for this film is torture animals, right? Even though they smack around a digital cat. But that's not the message of the film. At no point does anyone go, cat, let's torture it, right? That does not happen. So instead you get this ham-fisted, just ham-fisted and pig-fisted. Forget ham, it's the whole freaking pig. And every time it happens, every time you feel like, wow, I understand if I was 6 I would be enjoying this, but this could actually be okay. This could be decent. It falls back on, well, let's have a moment, shall we? And the other thing is, there's stupid, disgusting humor in it. Let's watch the Smurf fall on a toilet. That's not funny. Toilet does not automatically equal funny. Alright? If it doesn't work for the Farrelly Brothers, it's not going to work for freaking Smurfs. Okay? It just doesn't work. You can't have, let's have jokes about cat vomit. Vomit and poop and farting and peeing. There's peeing jokes. They're in there for the 6-year-olds. Great. But, come on. That's not funny. That's not funny. If you're 6, it's hilarious. But basically, you've created a film for 6-year-olds. Now, you're going to be smarter than I am because the film's going to make tons of money. There's a reason why there's 3 Alvin and the Chipmunks films now? Because that screening was filled with kids. Now, hilariously, I will say this. The fun of going to see a kids film with a room full of kids is to hear how they react to trailers. Just as an aside. Arthur Christmas, dead silence. What else did they show? Oh hell. Most things dead silence, except for before the last trailer. It's like, you could tell there was one kid, how many more are there gonna be? It was hilarious, because we're a kid, we're all thinking the same thing. Anyway, so the real problem here is the script. The script is atrocious. The script makes you want to hurt yourself, smurf yourself, whatever. It's just, and I can just see they really tried. Now, the screenwriters deserve some credit because they're doing the best they could. Sitting there going, how are we going to incorporate the singing and the saying, the smurfing, and all that stuff in the script and not be completely annoying, right? But they just don't, it doesn't work. It is annoying. And that, I'm sure, probably, once you hit 7 years old, the film ceases to be amusing whatsoever. All you can do with this film, really, honestly, is just keep repeating to yourself over and over again. It gets Jonathan Winters a paycheck. It gets Jonathan Winters a paycheck. Over and over again, and maybe you can get through it. Now, I should say something about 3D. 3D actually is not bad. It's actually pretty good, all things considered. It's, there's nice depth going on with the characters. And they do actually do some funny, haha, in-your-face type of things, which is fine because it's a movie for 6-year-olds. Okay, but I just, there was a time when you could make movies for 6-year-olds that adults would enjoy. There was a time, I promise. Ask your parents about it, kids. There was a time when there were classic films that don't talk down to kids and are actually good. Or if they have a message, they don't feel the need to beat you with it. It's just a shame. Because, I mean, honestly, you look at this, and I know on the surface you're going, this is a no-starter. This thing is going to suck from the get-go. And it could have been decent. It could have been decent. It could have been saved with a script. And they didn't have to do that much. They just needed to get rid of the toilet humor. And they needed to just tone down all the horrible lines. And Hank Azaria's performance is actually pretty amusing. He's pretty funny. But it's just whenever he has to say something really stupid, I mean, not even like stupid, haha stupid, but just really badly written and poorly thought out, that you just go, oh, wow. So, yeah, just drain my life energy. Widget is about to die. Widget needs food badly. Anyway. So, what do I do? Well, I would say, if you have to go see it with kids, you could do a lot worse than seeing this. If your kids are 6. If they're 10 and they want to see this, I don't know what's wrong with your kids. You might want to get them looked at. But if you have little kids, they're going to want to see this. You might as well take them. Go to a matinee. Save a few bucks. The 3D's not bad. It's actually fun to see a 3D movie with little kids because they get excited about everything. The recycle your 3D glasses pops out of the screen and they about wet themselves. So that's actually quite amusing. To think back to a time when that would have impressed you, right? We're sitting here talking about, well, the robots, they don't look right and they're coming at you and stuff and it doesn't feel right in the CG, and they're getting excited about being told to recycle their 3D glasses coming at them. They get excited about the preview words coming at them. They get excited. So that's actually kind of charming, So, yeah, I mean, if you're a kid, you're doomed. If you have kids, if you're a kid, you're doomed anyway in this day and age. But if you have a kid, you're doomed. You're going to take them to see it. See a matinee, save a few bucks. Bring something to bite down on when it gets bad. And other than that, as far as cups go, all right, I'm going to give it a cup. I'm going to give it a cup. Half of that is for Hank Azaria, because he deserves it, because he worked for this film. And the other half is because, like I said, the CG and whatnot and the 3D wasn't bad. But the script just absolutely killed any chance this thing had of being even remotely charming or interesting or worth seeing, unless you're 6. So there you go. There you go. There, I did it. Are you happy? I saw it. So, I torture myself so that you can have amusement. That's what I do. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these things, if you find them entertaining, with anything on Need Coffee, whether it's an article or whatnot, if you do enjoy it, please take a second. Support us financially if you can by going to needcoffee.com/support. But even if not that, even if you don't have 99 cents, since I do one of these about a week, it's about 99 cents, per. You can set up on PayPal for a subscription, and it's roughly what you would pay for an iTunes song. And that helps pay for the tickets that I have to buy to do this stuff. Nobody pays for these tickets. I pay for it out of my pocket. So if you do that, if you can do that, if you can share this to Facebook, Twitter, Stumble Upon, now Google+, whatever it is that you do, if you can help us get the word out, that would be great. So, that's it. I'm going to have that Smurfing tune stuck in my head all day. So that means I'm going to pan myself when I get home. See you later. Bye.